Okay, welcome to the webinar, Perfect Project Management. So who are we? I'm Damien Edwards, Business Development Manager of Interface, and with me I have Andy Naylor, our Projects Manager.
Hi guys, we're going to be taking questions throughout this webinar, so if you've got any questions, just put them in the box provided and we'll answer them straight away.
So we're partners of Bitrix24. We're located in Sheffield in the UK and New York. We provide all pre-sale support, so we can provide a demo. We can help you answer your questions so you make the right choice on which solution you choose. We provide a full implementation service, including customization, training for your users. If you choose a self-host option, we're able to provide a hosting solution for that, and we provide ongoing telephone support service. So what is Bitrix24? A suite of in excess of 40 tools for managing your business. Now more than 1 million businesses using Bitrix. Available as two different solutions really, standard cloud package on a monthly basis and a self-hosted solution, which is a more advanced solution. And essentially you buy that as a lifetime product, as essentially the one-off cost. So why use Bitrix24 for projects? Bitrix includes work groups for projects, including tasks and document drives, calendars, a number of other tools. We have a extranet portal to allow you to invite clients in to collaborate with them inside your work group. Able to report in a number of different ways, and we're going to show you some of these a little bit later. And there's significant automation available within Bitrix. So we're going to have a look at a case study. So if you saw our recent webinar on CRM, towards the end there we won a project, we generated an invoice for that project, and then through some integration with PayPal we requested a payment. So really following on from that, we're going to now go into how you should execute that project within Bitrix. 3 areas really we're going to look at. Initially we're going to show you how to create the project in a very structured sense. We will show you how you can collaborate with your client in the work group and allow the client to access the work group through the extranet. And finally we will look at different ways of reporting on statuses of your projects. Okay, so first thing we need to do is find our company. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is actually convert one of our CRM contacts into a main user in the system so that we can invite them into the work group and they can collaborate on tasks with us.
Yeah, so if you, like Damien mentioned, if you caught the sales webinar, this is the company that we won the contract from. Damien's going to shortly just create an extranet user from one of the contacts here.
Yeah, so if we go into our contacts, and we can see within this CRM record we have 3 full contacts. This is the one that we want to work on this project with. So we've got a process built here that allows you very quickly to convert CRM contact into an extranet user. So those are very different entities within Bitrix. They're not necessarily connected in any sense, so you need to run a process or perform a manual process to set up or to convert one of your prospects into a live user within the system. We've got, as I say, this process pre-built. This is available only on the self-hosted. There's this process, which Andy's going to show you in a second, requires a little bit of custom PHP code, which is not possible to do on the cloud. If you're on the cloud, you can still do the same thing. Essentially, you need to invite your client in through the employees page. So essentially, you achieve the same thing, but the process is a little bit longer. Okay, so we've done that. We've converted our contact into a user. They'll receive an email, a welcome email with the URL, username and password to allow them to log in. Of course, they're only going to get access to the group that we allow them access to. So let's go and do the second part. So we now need to create our project. From the activity stream on the home page, we have a process called new project. So Bitrix is shipped with a series of standard processes available for mostly around HR. So for things like leave approval, submitting expenses, it is possible though to create custom processes, and this one is a custom process. Allows us to set the project up in a very structured sense. So we're going to give the project a name. I'm going to select myself as the project manager, and then in this example it's a project to build a website. So we've got a developer, and we've got a designer for this project. We're going to give the project also deadline, let's say end of the month. We can give the project a description as short or as long as we like, and we're going to add a file into this too. So this is a custom form which we've built very simply. You can, for your projects, you can design your own form with the required fields. If I click submit, then the first thing we see in the activity stream is this approval page. Now I assign the project to myself, and so as such, as the new project manager, I need to approve this. So I see this in the activity stream. I also see it in my pending items. Let's have a look in the workflow page and just approve it from there. Okay, so we order them in latest by ID, and I can see please approve project. We can click, pop open this window, and I've got the option now to accept, refuse or delegate this project to another user, and I'm going to accept it. And I can see that at the top right hand corner I've now got a notification. So I'm receiving these notifications on myself. Obviously I assigned this project to myself. It says a new project has been created, and I've got an option to click, which will take me straight through to the project. Okay, so we have converted the contact to an extranet user. We've created our project. Only thing remains to us to do at this stage really is to invite our client into this group. This is the user that we created, and we're going to invite them into this group. So this, and there's the confirmation from the user. So this process was quite short, quite simple to execute. It is possible to create what we've done here in a manual way, but the reason why we recommend using a business process to do this is that it adds structure to how you set your projects up. Means that everything that needs to happen in order for the project to be set up the right way happens, and the right people are invited in, right notifications are sent out to the people that need to receive notifications. And what's happened is, as we can see, users have been added into the group here. If we click into the drive, you can see that the document that we added in the field in the form has been added into the drive, so it might be that in your projects you have a series of specification documents that need to be added into this group. That's happened there. If we look at the tasks, then we can see that a series of tasks have been created, different tasks for different elements of the project. They've all been assigned to different people. If we'd have set deadlines in the process, they'd be given different deadlines as well. So that was quite a simple way of setting up a project. As I say, it's possible to do that manually. We recommend using a business process. So Andy will show us now the two business processes. Firstly, the process to convert a contact in the CRM to an ActionNet user, and then the process to create the project.
Okay, yeah. So what we need to do is we need to go into the CRM section and then into settings. And then we need to click on automation and business processes. So this business process was created for a contact. So all we need to do is just click on the templates for a contact. And then you can see here, this is our business process that needs to be manually run. So if we click on convert contact into ActionNet user, as Damien mentioned previously, this business process is only available for the self-hosted because we do have some custom code blocks in here which is not available for the cloud. So we'll just go into here and just to show you. You can see here that we have some custom code that just allows us to generate that ActionNet user. Now, in the next week or so, we're going to be adding a section to our interface.com website, which is going to allow you to download sample business processes. So, for example, this to create a contact into a ActionNet user, this business process will be on there along with some others. So we will email you guys with a link to those once they've been added to the website. So yeah, so this is the ActionNet user business process. Now all we need to have a look at is how we create a project. So if we go back to the activity stream, if we click on more and processes, and then if you click onto settings, we should be able to see the workflows that are available on your system. So this is both available for the cloud and the self-hosted. So in this case, we're going to look at the new project. And then first of all, we're going to look at how we can set up the form. So we just need to click on settings and then workflow fields. So as David mentioned, this is a very structured way of creating a project and creating a work group. In this case, we've got 7 fields here. We've got a number of different field types. So in this case, we've got text fields. We've got the link to employees, which allows you to bring people into the work group in this example. And we've also got the file upload fields here. So you can create as many fields as you like. It's pretty straightforward and simple to do.
I think you can actually create selection fields in there as well. So if you had more than one type of project that had different requirements, then you could have a drop down in your form that said field project type A, B or C, and then from that the business process, which we'll look at next, we'll be able to go ahead and trigger, let's say, different tasks for that type of project.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, so we could create multiple different types of projects just from one form, which would be a good way to do it. So if we just go into looking at the business process now, so click on elements and then business process. And then you can see here, this is the business process that is run when the form is submitted. So this is a sequential business process. And you can see here that we start off with an approval process. So when the form is submitted, you saw previously that Damien could accept the project or refuse the project, and then this is what this block does. So in this case, we can create a work group, add the members that were selected in the form, upload the document, and then create a series of tasks. So as Damien just mentioned then, we may have a condition here that if it was project type A, we could create these 3 tasks, or if it was project type B, we could create another set of tasks. So it is quite simple to create these business processes. Just going to show you an example of an action block that maybe we wanted to in the future. So we could actually book a calendar event in, maybe for a meeting, a kick-off meeting, and then it's just as simple as filling in the parameters here that's required.
Okay.
So this is maybe another example of what we can put on supply everyone with on our site. So you can download this and then install it and test it out on your system.
Okay, yeah. So that's quite a simple process. I think actually, Andy says that we might, be able to make this process available on our website. If you want to, if you want to design a process, if your requirements are a little bit more complicated, then obviously partners are able to help you design these types of processes. Okay, so that's the first section. That's how to create your projects. Let's see if we've got any questions before we move on to how to add some content to your project. Okay, is functionality available for cloud customers? So nearly, I would say all this functionality is available for cloud customers. The only bit you would have to do differently if you're a cloud customer is converting the CRM contact into an extranet user. That process involves some custom code, which you can't do on the cloud. It means that you would have to do that in a manual sense. You go into employees and you either create the extranet user there, register them there, or you invite them in through email. So most of it's available. It's a little bit more joined up if you're using self-hosted, some more advanced features.
Yeah, I think another slight area with the difference with the being available on cloud and self-hosted, I think you are limited to just creating work groups on the cloud version to your system rather than actually creating extranet work groups. Okay,
so in the business process you can't create, it won't generate an extranet user, extranet work group.
Yeah,
I see. Okay, so that's some additional benefits for reasons why you might want to choose the self-hosted. If you really want to understand the difference, then we can provide a demo for you to show you really the benefits of self-hosted. Okay, where do I go to download business processes? It's not available yet, but we'll have a section on the website. I think you go to our bitrix24 homepage, there'll be a link to the section. Give us a few days and we'll have those available for you. Okay, is the session available to review afterwards? Yeah, absolutely. We'll send you out a link to a video so you can watch again and pause and etc. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, so let's find the work group that we've created. Okay, we can find it in this search. Okay, so as we said, users have been added to this group. We now see that Tara, the extranet user, has been added to this group.
Yeah, so now we're going to look at how we can collaborate with the actual client that we've brought in. So with Tara Green, you can see is an extranet user there. She is our client. She's an extranet user. So we want to interact with the developer, the designer, and also bring in Tara so she understands what's happening on her project. So I think first of all, we welcome her to the work group.
Okay, so we can post a message to the whole group. As you can see, by default, it sends it to this new group we've created. So every user within this group, internal users and external users, will receive this welcome message. Obviously, everyone can then communicate within this activity stream as well. Okay, let's have a look at tasks and add some content to these tasks. So we've got 3 different tasks available. First one, let's say we've finished, so we've completed that one. Drop into the second task, and it's possible to add some comments to.
Yeah, so each task has its own comment activity stream here. So if we were to tag Tara in, for example, Tara will get notified that there's a comment being made for her on this particular task. So it's a good way of especially interacting with the client on here.
Mm-hmm. So we're just going to add an image into this post. Let's insert it into the comment box here. And as Andy said, we've tagged Tara in on that. She will receive a notification, but what we're going to do is message Tara as well.
So yeah, so this is another feature. If you guys have not used Bitrix before, Bitrix comes with an instant messenger window here, and so we can interact with the client if they're on, maybe they've got Bitrix on their mobile app or on their desktop application.
Yeah. So this is really a preferred method of communication for most people these days. Very, very quick way. Instant messaging is a very, very quick way of communicating. We do have also available video calls. So I'm going to call Tara now. Okay, thanks. So we've got a number of different ways of communicating with the client here inside the portal. We're able to share images. We're able to chat within the activity stream. We're able to have private conversations within the messenger here, and also video calls.
Yeah, I think another good thing about the messenger and the phone call is that, say for example, the developer or the designer in this case wants to chat with Tara, we can actually bring in other people from the group into the chat, so we can have multiple people. So we can have group instant messengers, or we can have maybe a group video calls. So if we could do this, for example, then we can bring everybody into the call.
Yeah, so you can have, within Bitrix, you can have a video call with up to 4 other users, and you can have an instant message conversation with much larger numbers of users. Okay, so let's have a look then finally in this section at a view from Tara's side, from the client side in the extranet. First thing you'll notice is, well, actually it looks very similar in many respects in that admin bar across the top is very similar. The home page is an activity stream. We can see the message here on Tara's profile, which I posted. There's some differences on here. We're showing you today a self-hosted version. This allows you to do some other things that maybe not necessarily on the cloud, not possible on the cloud. So first thing you might notice is some banners on the right-hand side. So by default, the right-hand column is populated with standard Bitrix components such as little task widgets, calendar widgets, birthdays, etc. With self-hosted, you're able to use this area to add really any content you want. So we've got some examples of some banners promoting what we do down that right-hand side. The other thing you'll notice is that the menus, there's a lot less in the menu on the left-hand side. So obviously, this extranet user has access to a lot less content. Obviously, they're not getting access to your CRM at all, or any of your HR, internal HR stuff. They really just see a little bit about their workspace. We're on a self-hosted, as I say here, so they've also got access to, in this example, they've got access to an e-store as well. But they have access to their work group, so we can see here the link to the work group. That's access.
I think one really good feature with Bitrix is as well, I don't think we've touched upon it, but all the extranet users are free licenses, so we can create as many extranet users as we like for our clients, and they don't cost one thing for any fee for a license. Yeah, so on
a self-hosted, you pay differently to on the cloud, in that you buy users essentially as and when you need them. On the cloud, I think they're mostly free of charge. On the self-hosted, the pricing model is slightly different, but as Andy says, extranet users are completely free of charge. So I'm logged in as Tara. I can see the activity. We can of course access those documents that we added in the beginning, and Tara can also access the tasks as well. So that's it. Let's see if we've got any questions on this stage. Can extranet users access the portal on a mobile? Yes. All the features available of the workgroup are available on a mobile, and it is possible for extranet users. The mobile app is a free application, so it's possible for extranet users to download that and access the content through a mobile. Can you track time spent on tasks? Yeah, you can. Let's go back into tasks, and we'll show you how you can. We go into this. I'm now back in as myself. Let's go into this task now. In order for me to add time on a task, I need to be responsible for the task. I'm going to take charge of this task. If we refresh, then I now have the option to be able to add time using the time tracker. So we've got two. In fact, we've got three options, three ways of adding time. Two are standard, one's custom. We're going to show you in a few minutes. But I can add time by as you can see, I'm now recording time. Time's now ticking up against this particular task. We can add time in a manual sense here. So if you prefer to add time at the end of the day in blocks, then you can do it. You can do it in this way, or you can do a mix of the two. So yeah, it is possible to add time to task. Let's pause that. See if we've got any more questions. Are you able to do a video call with external users for cloud-hosted version? External users, yes, absolutely. So you can do a video call with any user of the system. So whether they're a standard user or an extranet user, you can do a video call with them. They need to be a user of the system. So it's different to the telephony module where you can call a landline or a mobile. They need to be a registered user of the system, but they can be a main user or an extranet user, and you can have a video call with them. So this is exactly what we showed you when we did a video call. The other user was an extranet user, so that is possible. Can I see an admin access level of departments so that it will see tasks and employee tasks and all other departments? Yeah, so you can. We're going to show you some reporting, and you can generally see all the tasks that you're a participant of. And you can see here we've got 4 levels. We've got created by, responsible, participant, and observer. If you're one of those people, then you can see the task. They all have different rights within a task. Some can add content, some can just view, and some can actually delete the task itself. Generally, you need to be a member on one level of the task in order to be able to see an overview of those. But we're going to show you a way to create a custom dashboard, which really you could show whatever content you wanted to. Okay, let's have a look at reporting. So we've used a structure, we've used a process to create a new project. We've added some content to that project through tasks and communicated with the client in the extranet. Final thing really to look at is how you as a manager can see an overview of tasks and report on really how successful you're being on tasks. So we have each user, as I said, if you belong to a task, you'll be able to view your own tasks in this link up here, and each task sits neatly on this page within the project group that they belong to. There's a standard list view. You can also view tasks as a Gantt chart view like this. And quite a new feature allows us also, if we look down the left-hand side, you can obviously see that these are the work groups, these are the tasks that sit within the work groups, but we've got a slightly different view now available, which allows you to manage resources on tasks. So you can see that this view is actually users on the system. You can see this user at the top has a number of tasks here, and we can expand this view so that we can see actually this user's working on more than one task right at the moment. But the point of this allows you to really manage resourcing, so I can see when this particular person is going to become free, hopefully become free to work on other tasks. Okay, so we can view tasks in a list view, a standard Gantt chart view, and then we can view this resourcing tool of tasks by employee. You've got a number of filters up here that you can use to customize the view you have on this page. So these are the standard tools. These are available on cloud and self-hosted, exactly the same on both solutions. I think they're available also all available on the free version, free version and upwards. Just going to show you a couple of custom views. So it's just possible. We showed you how you could add time to a task by clicking actually adding blocks in, or to logging into the task and ticking time up against the task. We've got a custom module that allows you to actually add time to a task in this way.
Yeah, so the good way of doing this is that if you are wanting to enter time on particular tasks, it is just a quick way to view all the projects on one page. So for example, this is where we have the drop down for website TechCo, and then it will, within that work group, this will then list all the tasks. So it's quite a quick and simple way to flick through all your tasks and enter your time.
Yeah, sure. If you're someone who prefers to add time to tasks at the end of the day, then this allows you to add all those blocks of time in, from one page, from one view. The other thing you can do is actually add time in the past. So I could add it on a previous day. Let's add it on today, and then if we do this, we'll see it on our calendar view up here, and we'll also see it down here on this log at the bottom, which allows you to then go in and edit those. So this is a custom extension which is available from our website, bitrix24.com/shop. And I think it's fairly low cost. It will only work with a self-hosted version. It's not possible to create this type of customization on the cloud. And then finally, so we looked at how you can report using the standard list view and Gantt chart view. With the self-hosted, you can create really anything you want in terms of creating. You can create a custom page and then display data on that page graphically.
Yeah, so in this case, you can add custom fields to tasks. So, for example, if a certain task has a certain specific, maybe daily value rate, then we've got a dashboard here where we basically can work out how much each particular task is worth, how many are currently outstanding, or how many are currently past the deadline. But it's quite good to see monetary values. In this case, like I say, this is pretty custom to the self-hosted package.
Okay, so we looked at how you create a task in a structured sections in the business process, how you can add content, collaborate with the client, and then how you can report on that. Let's see if you've got any questions on this section. Okay, how can you create activity stream messages automatically for a work group that you've created with a workflow? So there is a standard action block, activity stream message, and this will post a message to an activity stream. I think you can go into a setting within that action block to to select the work group. If you can't do that, and you do say in your comment that you have self-hosted, if you can't do that, then there will be a way to get the ID of the work group. It might require a couple of lines of custom code, but if you want to get back in, if you can't get that working, if you want to get in touch with us, we'll put the contact details up at the end. We'll show you how you can do that in your workflow. Question on Gantt charts: when I copy a task, does it not take its subtasks with it? I don't know the answer to that question. We'll find out. We'll find out about that. Okay, how can I print a Gantt chart? So it is not possible to print a Gantt chart beyond print screen, which isn't too great. We have built if you're on self-hosted, we've built a process that allows you to, we built a tool which has a button which allows you to generate a PDF from a Gantt chart. It requires some work. So essentially on the cloud, it's not available as it stands. Self-hosted, it can be developed. How do task dependencies work? So it is possible to create. Let's have a look in tasks. Back in tasks. If we go into a list view, into a Gantt chart view, then it is possible to create dependencies whereby if one task finishes, another task starts. Of course, there's 4 different types of dependencies. This one finishes, this one starts. We can have something like when one finishes, another one starts. When one starts, another one finishes. When one starts, another one starts. So there is ways to associate one task with another like this, and we can do this on this Gantt chart view. Can you view tasks in your Outlook calendar? Yes, it is possible to integrate with most calendars, including Outlook, and so you can view those in I think in Outlook it creates a separate calendar view, so you have your standard Outlook calendar, then you have a side-by-side a Bitrix calendar, but you can certainly view them externally in Outlook.
Yeah, and you can also connect to if you've got your Google Calendar, you can also connect to that. It's just standard functionality with the cloud and self-hosted.
Mm-hmm. Can an extranet user add time to tasks? Yeah, I believe so. I believe an extranet user would be able to add time to tasks, but I think actually this could be a permission setting. So I think you can probably define that type of permission. So you could probably decide whether you would allow an extranet user to add time to tasks. I'm not sure actually. We'd have to probably check that a little bit more. Can you generate a timesheet linked to an invoice for a client? Not a standard feature, but certainly something that can be implemented on self-hosted. If you're on self-hosted, get in touch and we'll show you how you can do that. In fact, I don't think you could create a business process on the cloud that does that. No, I don't think you can't really. So it would mean generating a process from tasks. So it's probably going to be limited on the cloud, but you can certainly do that on self-hosted. Okay, we don't have any more questions. Okay, so in summary, we created a process which followed on from our CRM process in a previous webinar, which generated a project group. We communicated with the client inside that group, and we were able to report on that project as well. So we mentioned, as we've gone through, self-hosted. I think really most of the features that we showed you today, probably 90%, are available on cloud and self-hosted. In fact, most of them are probably available on the free cloud. There are some additional benefits though of self-hosted, and that would be the ability to be able to brand a portal area. So particularly useful if in your project management process, if you're inviting your client into the system, you can have on self-hosted, you can have a branded login page. You can remove the Bitrix branding, have your own branding within the site. You can change some of the skins, change the colors of the theme, add a logo within the site. Also, we mentioned a few times that there's some advanced automation. So there are some processes you can do on self-hosted that are not available on the cloud, so it makes it a little bit more connected up. It is possible to customize the page. So when we looked at the portal area, the right-hand side, we showed you some custom banners. So that's only available on self-hosted. And then reporting, really with self-hosted, you can create custom pages and you can add any content you want to that. So we showed you a custom dashboard. So really you display the content how you want to on the self-hosted. So that's really useful feature. So that's it. We have a webinar at the same time every Monday. Coming up soon, we look at the CRM. We also look at focus just on another webinar on HR tools. We've mentioned self-hosted a few times today. We do a webinar that covers just self-hosted. We also have a webinar which focus on automation and business processes. Okay, that's our contact details. We've got a minute or two. We can answer some questions if you've got any questions. If you want to send them through afterwards, you can send them, give us a call or send them by email. We are, as we said at the beginning, we're able to provide a demo for you. Particularly if you're interested in self-hosted, we can explain benefits of self-hosted. Particularly if you're a cloud user at the moment and want to find out the additional benefits of using self-hosted, we can talk you through that. We can develop custom processes for you. We can provide training for your staff. If you're on self-hosted, we can provide a hosting solution if you're having any trouble at all with managing your own hosting. Was the webinar recorded for later viewing? Yes, it was. So we will email out a recording. You can also watch earlier recordings on our website on interface.com/webinar, and you can watch earlier recordings, and you can register for new webinars there as well. Again, want to plan our design and development resource in the future, please recommend relevant ways to do that so the accounts department can see the resource. Yeah, I think we probably, it's quite a big subject. I think we can go through that on a call. So if you want to get in touch with us afterwards, we can arrange a call and go through that. You can certainly do that with the new involvement feature, which allows you to see when people are coming available. Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.